I don't know.
Oh, I love the countdown. Yeah,
I
that makes it
I
official
don't.
right there. So,
No, man. I don't even know what it's internet speed. It's gonna start
oh,
when
so
it
it is
starts. You know what I mean?
delayed response. So you're counting down by 5, and we've already been on. So
Brian, I'm a living delayed response.
this is why we're paired up together.
I'm saying, dude,
Yeah. So how's
homies
life?
forever. Good, man. Everything's good. The wife's getting better. I'm in a happy. I was happy spirits today, sir.
There you go.
Yeah,
It's good.
I'm
Good,
happy.
good,
I was
good.
looking forward to this show tonight because we get to talk to Pat Turner from Squatch Talk.
Heck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got a
Mr. Rock
feeling.
and Roll himself.
I got a feeling between the three of us, we're not going to run out of things to say.
Probably not.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
Pat's
think
Pat's
it's going to
been
be.
around the podcast circle for a little while. He knows what's up.
It's going to be hard to have awkward silence.
People are gonna be praying for that.
Probably
Right.
so. That's all right.
All right. Let's. Shall we bring Pat on? I mean, the guy. He just. He's just waiting, man. Right now.
Yeah, he looks like he's ready to roll.
He's ready to roll. All
He's
right. Let's
always
bring.
ready to go, though. He's Mr. Professional. So,
He is, man. He's down like 4 flats, as Brian says.
there you go.
Quote unquote, Brian Hoover.
There you go.
What's up, Pat?
What's up, guys?
Well, you
Hey,
know,
man.
my boys, my SBA boys,
Yes,
Brian
sir.
and Shane's rocking the walking church.
oh, see how
The
clever he is.
walk.
He's
See
a
there?
clever boy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, man. What's up, guys? Thanks for inviting me here. I'm glad to be part of what you guys got going on, and we have some history together. I can't help but feel maybe a little bit responsible or influential in
Oh yeah, definitely.
what you guys got going on here. I don't know. We can
Yeah,
talk about
yeah,
that, but yeah.
yeah. And
That's
just
right.
so we beg you for advice all the time, and we have
Mhm.
not fixed our glitch with the people's names showing up like we keep saying we're
Yeah.
going to do. Like, well, Pat says all we got to do is this, and then me and Shane are like, okay, yeah, we'll see you next week.
So basically,
Yeah.
what happened with this show is Pat came in riding a flying guitar, kicked the bass drum over, sprinkled some kiss my ass dust, and here we are.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
there you
right.
go.
And then pyro went off, and panties started flying towards the stage. Is that appropriate? I don't know.
Oh yeah, man. For
I
sure,
might
yeah.
get in trouble for that, actually.
Nah, you'll be all right.
You'll be all right, man. You'll be
Nobody
okay.
watches us anyways. You know what I mean? So, me and Shane go back and watch this over and over again to get the views up. So
Hey Pat,
Yeah.
we have an extra guest here too. I have to show you. He's right. Wait, right there. That's my
Oh.
zombie.
Oh, dude, awesome.
Yeah, that's Romero. He's my zombie. I made him like
Romero. Yeah, cool.
yeah, made him like
Mhm.
10 years ago, and he's been with me ever since.
So
Huh?
if you may indulge me for a minute, Shane,
Sure.
before we jump into all the really, really fun stuff that we're going to get to, you mentioned your wife's getting better. I would just personally like to know, like that from you real quick. If you could give me the lowdown on that.
Oh yeah, man. So today she had a walk test. Medical professional came over today and gave her a walk test. So she qualifies for like a very portable type of concentrated oxygen she can
Mhm.
take around with her. She's been making the bed, pulling weeds here and there. I mean, she's really making leaps and bounds on the mend. So,
Okay. Improvement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
Thank you for asking.
I'm glad to hear that, dude. Yeah, I've been thinking about you when all that went down, and so you mentioned it. I just thought I would get the lowdown real quick. So
Sure, man. I appreciate that, man.
So yeah,
that
man,
shows
we'll keep her in our prayers, bro.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yes, sir.
Mhm.
So, I want to talk about this real quick. Hang on a second.
What you want to talk about?
Hang on.
well, he's pulling something up.
Let's do it. Let's do it, man. Because this right here,
Trying to get rid of the suns here.
I'm a huge fan of The Walking Dead, dude. And this is Pat right here. He's got like that's a game face right there. It's like
I know, man. I look like I'm about to eat somebody.
that's what you were in character, man. You were ready.
I was. I'm like, I'm gonna point me in the right direction. I'm gonna kill somebody.
Man, how did you even get involved in that?
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah, and that's I'll tell you a second. That's Greg Nicotero right there.
Oh, I know who that is.
Yeah,
Oh,
giving me direction. So like
Oh,
I got to work with Greg closely a few times. It was really neat, of course, you know. How I got that gig basically was this dude. Getting a little feedback. I don't know what's going on. Is that I answered a casting call and I knew what it was. I knew what it was. It was a casting call for the very first shoot of the beginning of shooting for the season 6 of The Walking Dead. And so I had been involved with a couple of different casting agencies, and one of them was the what they call extras casting, because technically, and this sucks, but it's true. Technically, zombies are background extras.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, even
and
though
the further you are, the less makeup you have on. You know.
Yes,
right?
sometimes. Yeah. There are tiers to it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, it's an extra background role, even though it's The Walking Dead, and the zombies are the stars too, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work. Show doesn't work without the zombies. Anyway, I knew what that call was for, because it was all these specifics and like smaller people, and like I just knew, and so bam, I pinged it, dude, and they next day, man, they sent me a time, date, and map to be on set, and I was jazzed, dude, because I was a fan of the show since premiere of season 1.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I was like, man, this is television like I've never seen before. This is amazing stuff. And so I was already a fan of the show, and so yeah, to get to go participate in it was like mind blowing, like cool, different experience that I'd never experienced before. And I've been in the entertainment industry for 20 years, playing music on on stage in front of live people, and recording. I probably professionally recorded over 100 songs in my lifetime, and so I'm used to entertainment. I'm used to like glitz and glamour, and I've hung out with rock stars and all this cool stuff, but this was a different side of the entertainment industry that I was just like, man, it's just gonna be cool to be there, So that's how I got the gig, man. Just answered a casting call, and I knew exactly what it was.
Oh my God, that's amazing. That's outstanding.
Yeah, because for those of you who don't know, at the time I lived in Atlanta, Georgia, and they filmed The Walking Dead in Georgia, about 40 miles south of Atlanta, in Senoia. Yeah, that's where they primarily film most of the show. Yeah,
that's cool, man. Yeah. I don't even know what to say. You got to talk to Greg Nicotero, and that's
like. Wow. Yeah, I mean, more than once, and sometimes very casually. Like, he might crack a joke at you every now and then, or give you some special like direction he wants you to be doing in the scene. Yeah, like all those things happen, man, and of course working with, and I got to work really close with the principal cast. Now, a lot of it didn't make it to air, which bummed me out. It's amazing how much time I spend on set, and like how little you can find me in the show. My girlfriend makes fun of me all the time. Whenever I tell somebody about it, she's always like, I saw like the back of his head once,
Oh my God.
But I got killed by almost every major character in the show. I mean, more than once too.
That's what I was going to ask, is like, how many different zombies were you?
Yeah, I mean, you're a different zombie every shoot you show up to.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
it's
awesome.
not like once you get killed, you can't be on the show anymore.
Yeah, you're already dead, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do the makeup a little different.
Yeah, there's different kinds of makeup. There's like we talked about. There's different tiers of makeup, and in that picture that you showed to me, I actually was wearing a mask that day, and I had the mask pulled up. It was real hot. It's real hot in Georgia, and we shoot during the summer mostly. And I just pulled the mask up, so I wasn't wearing it anymore. So I just flipped it up, and it looks kind of funny. But
hey man, you gotta let the face breathe.
It's still cool.
Yeah. It could be miserable. I had some miserable days on set, man, in the middle of the summer until they finally figured it out and found ways to get us into some kind of because in between takes is a long time. It could be it might be an hour and a half to shoot the next scene where they're repositioning all the cameras, getting everything ready, and so they finally figured out different ways to put us in air conditioning, even out on roads and stuff. They brought in a bus where we could just go sit on the bus and it was air conditioned.
Were they like, "Oh, you damn zombies, get in this bus and cool off"?
Yeah, I mean, you just could. You didn't have to, but if you wanted to get cool, just go sit in the bus and there's air conditioning, and then you just walk outside and hang out. And
Brian,
it was pretty.
Talking to a zombie right now.
It was pretty cool. Yeah,
I'm a little out.
So yeah, cool. I mean, I could do like a 2-hour podcast about that whole experience, bro.
Yeah,
it was.
You may want to do that sometime. Really, just break it down and.
There's a lot to it, man. Again, I just the stories I have, the cool things I got to do, man. Just being a part of that experience. Those will always be fond memories.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Is that something that you're just done with, or would you?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. It was super cool until it wasn't.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah, it did not have a good ending.
Well, I mean, you die at the end. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah, man.
Right? Yeah. Well,
somebody
did.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Really?
I was there, and I can talk about it now because it's all settled and over and done with. But I was there the day the stuntman died.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
That was my last day on set.
I think that happens more than what people are led to believe.
Yeah,
some people die. Yeah,
they do. It was a weird situation, but I had my fill of the show. So now this is season 8 that I was shooting in. I started season 6, and I just said, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. Somebody died, and I've had my fill. It was fun. Yeah. It became it could get hard to do. It was when you're super motivated to do it, it's one thing, but when you get used to it, and at this point now I live in Gainesville, and I'm 100 miles away from set, and it's it's 14, 16-hour days. Yeah. You throw a 200-mile commute on that, man. It's yeah, dude.
Damn, that's a commute.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100 there, 100 back.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's not far enough. Oof.
It'd be fun though. I wouldn't mind doing something like that.
Well, Pat, maybe now you can be a zombie Bigfoot, and then I can make the tracks and I'll put my Adidas on, and I'll make some tracks for you.
Yeah.
Because I'm like a genie bottle of tracks.
Right? I've heard. So I hear.
Yeah. Still waiting on the Adidas royalty money to roll in on it.
I don't know. What's up with that?
You checked your mailbox?
Good evening, Ginger. She said hello, and then now she's saying good evening, so she wants to be heard.
Yes.
Good evening. How are you? How are you doing?
There you go. Yeah, there's not as much money in TV as people would think. So I got paid, to do all that really cool stuff and be that integral with principal cast, not just some person pretending to eat in a restaurant or stand 2 blocks away in a corner. I mean, it was an integral part. It was we were acting, and I got paid like any other extra.
No.
Man.
Yeah. And so
That's like
sign me up. Go to Atlanta, be a zombie. Kind of a thick zombie, though.
yeah.
I had to go on a little diet before I go do zombie. acting.
Well, they're shooting, and I don't know, Shane, you might know this. They're shooting the last season now.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Yeah. So
the comic book kind of ended too, so it's kind of
the comic book ended like at least a year ago, if not longer. And so they're shooting the last season now. So the show's going away, but they're gonna try and keep the Walking Dead universe alive with spin-offs and
they have a couple of good spin-offs. So yeah. I'm always zombie hungry, man.
Is Rick coming back or not?
I don't know. And if I did, I couldn't tell you because I'd be sued for $100,000.
Yeah, dude. I'm sure you signed all kinds of NDAs.
Every time I stepped on set, I had to sign a $100,000 NDA penalty. And I did no plot that was important. So I was in season 6. I was shooting season 6. As they were releasing some of it, so I knew plot, and I was not allowed. They
have to cover their asses. They do.
Yeah,
they have to.
Mm-hmm.
I know all about that. Copyright, trademark, register, all that stuff, man. I'm dealing with it myself. So
the Adidas, right?
Well, it's just a straight up NDA. Like if you want to be on this set and work today, you have to sign this NDA.
You better sign this. And want your firstborn, and we're gonna clone you.
And they take your phone. Let me tell you how weird that was. Yeah. Oh yeah. Dude, you cannot have your phone. Is that low level of a actor on set, if you will? You cannot have your phone because you could sneak pictures and videos on set and sell them or promote them or do whatever. Like, nope, they take your phone. Wow. So it's weird. Yeah, you got to bring a book.
TMZ sitting there waiting on you to.
Oh yeah, that's
photos. So.
Yeah, so you got to just hang out with people, and it's weird spending that much time without your phone after we've all gotten so used to it in the modern world.
I know it's like a fifth limb. You got to have it. Whatever.
It is. It is a fifth limb, literally.
You got a computer in your pocket. Of course, you're going to use it.
Yeah.
Why not? Use it. What are you drinking, Shane?
Oh, I was going to say this show is unofficially brought to you by Corona and this great big Viking looking. Can you see my eyes?
Nice.
Okay. Anyways, it's delicious.
Too, huh?
Nice.
That right there was a gift for my brother's wedding when we were in it. My youngest brother, he got us all one of these. What you got in there, Pat? You got a Yeti?
I got a Yeti full of whiskey and Coke on ice. Cheers.
That's what I'm talking about. Cheers, sir.
Yes, sir.
Boring. Water.
And we know there's vodka in there.
Not this go.
Damn it, Brian.
I know. I feel like I let everybody down. So.
Nah, man, you never let me down, dude. You're good.
Appreciate it.
You're golden, dude. You're golden like Pony Boy.
Oh.
Like on the Outsiders. They golden, dude.
I get called Pony Boy more than I probably cared.
Are you serious?
I don't know why.
Huh.
It's just strange coincidence, I guess. So.
Is it weird that I got that feeling right now? Is that weird?
A little bit.
Not at all. I don't think so, Shane.
Okay.
It'll be all right. And the shenanigans have now begun.
Shut up. All right. Good. So what's going on with Squatch Talk, man?
Man, we've been doing some really good shows lately. I've been doing mostly panel shows, 4 or 5 people. And I have a group of people, man, I can bring on and pick and choose from and mix it up a little bit. And it's always great discussion, and I'm loving how that's going. It's been great, and I'm gonna keep it up. And I've got some ideas for some other things, more scaled down things. Maybe even just me interviewing, more high profile kind of guests and stuff. So I'm working on a lot of that stuff, and but the show's been going great. I definitely want to keep that up because for me, it's all about the discussion. You know, I don't want to do. You know, I don't want to do an encounter show. I personally, because I just feel like those bases are covered. You know, and it's just not what I'm interested in. Honestly, I can go listen to encounters whenever I want. You know.
Yeah.
But we, you know, I mean, it's not like we don't have people talk about their encounters on the show. It's just not that encounter format, if you will. You know,
it's not like the whole show is encompassed around the encounter.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So if you listen to Squatch Talk, you will hear people talk about their encounters, you know, but not in the same format that you're probably used to, like with Chronicles and stuff like that. So things have been going really well. There's been a little bit of growth. You know, I'm not trying to become like YouTube rich or anything like that with 1 million subscribers. That's not my goal. It's just a platform, man. And the more people that are there to hear like what I consider to be good discussion, the better. And so yeah, that's what's been going on. And now I want to try and start throwing in some really more engaging stuff. I want to start doing a debate series with Bigfoot.
There you go.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so sort of 3 things I've come up with is like I want to do some debate shows, like sort of sprinkled in with the normal, you know, content. Debate show like Woo versus Flesh and Blood.
Ooh.
I think that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Or Patterson Gimlin film, because some people in the Patterson, some people, God, I did this. I made that mistake last night. Some people in the Bigfoot world think the Patterson Gimlin film's a joke, and some people find it extremely compelling. So I think that'd be an interesting thing to debate. And then the other one would be like bring somebody from outside the Bigfoot world. A skeptic, let's say, to debate like a Bigfooter.
Okay.
You know, so like Bigfoot is real to a skeptic that'd be willing to come on, you know, and so stuff like that. Like I really want to start putting stuff like that together.
Man, I really like that. It's like you're
it's
rocking the boat format, which you know.
Yeah, well, you know, I've always said, like, man, Squatch Talk is a place you can have your voice heard. And we don't judge. Like, I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to poo-poo on anybody's. If you come and chat, right, you know, when I'm live on air on my platform and you say, you know, the aliens chased me to the Sasquatch and the Sasquatch and the aliens, you know, took off together, fine. Okay, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to say, get out of here, dude.
You're not worthy of talking about Bigfoot.
Right. Yeah, I'm not that guy. Everybody's welcome.
Hey,
all opinions are welcome. And, you know, I just ask you not be a jerk. Not that you say, well, this is my opinion and all of you are stupid for thinking anything else. You know, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just don't be a jerk about it. And you say whatever you want on my platform. So it's wide open.
You might get some heated conversations.
Maybe. I mean, hopefully not. Again, if you're going to come on my channel and debate, I want you to be respectful and know how to debate.
You know how passion gets involved sometimes, though.
It does.
Yeah.
But there's a way to do it, and do it that way. Like, don't, you know.
I could just see it now, like how we are here with 1, 2, 3 panels. Pat's in the middle. He's wearing like this tuxedo with his hair slicked back, and the mic comes down like Michael Buffer.
Right. Yeah.
Let's get ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thing.
Awesome.
Well, that's the thing is that I will be moderating. I'll be moderating most of the debates, most of them. Like, so I may insert myself into 1 or 2 here and there and have somebody else moderate who I trust to properly moderate. But yeah, dude, if things get out of control, dude, I'll mute mics. I'll throw down, you know, time time intervals, like 2 minutes here, you get 2 minutes, like you have to stick to it. But I'd rather it be an open discussion where people aren't talking over each other.
Yeah.
So
That's good
basically,
stuff.
Shane, you and I are not invited.
Yeah,
We get
you guys are banned.
Yeah, exactly. You guys can watch all you want, but you're not coming on. We
I
can
know, because
moderate.
sometimes stuff just comes out of my mouth, and my brain's like, "No, come back," and then it just
rolled off your lips. Yeah.
Yeah,
We can moderate though, Pat. We could tell people to shut up and stuff like that.
yeah. You shut up.
Right.
Calm down, gentlemen. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an idea that just fascinates me. So and that doesn't exist in the Bigfoot world. You know, I mean, I've gotten in trouble more than once. I say in trouble by some element of whoever's watching of me challenging somebody on air and going, you know, blah blah blah, whatever. I can't think of an example, but it's happened more than once.
Yeah.
And I've challenged somebody that was in a discussion with me and other people, and like chat starts going crazy, like, or I catch flack for it after the show, and thank God, you know, anytime that's ever happened, the host understood, like, you didn't do anything wrong, like.
Well, I'm looking for a big ass monster in the woods. Oh my god.
Yeah. So I'm gonna voice. I'm not afraid to voice my opinion or challenge somebody.
Yeah.
You know, and if they get butthurt about it, whatever, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm not being an a-hole here. I'm just throwing my opinion out there. I'm just throwing out, you know, my worldview. That's it.
You know, every time I've heard you speak up on any kind of platform of any nature that's podcast related, I always respect what you say, man, because I feel like it's coming from a true spot, you know, from yourself.
Yeah.
It's genuine. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
thank
man.
you.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I strive for. That is how Squatch Talk got created. Was conversations with my buddy Ernie, who was my co-host in the very beginning for Squatch Talk, and we just said, man, the Bigfoot world is just, it's so like convoluted, you know. Let's try and bring some realness to it and some objectiveness to it, and not exclude things. Like I said, like if you want to talk about woo, we'll talk about woo, fine. But just try and bring some objectivity to the table. And I live and die by that with Squatch Talk, you know, and if I ever stray from that, man, put me in my freaking place.
All right. You got
Fair
it.
enough?
Yeah. We can do that.
Damn it, Brian. You know what? I think when people come up with certain ideas and approaches to the Bigfoot community or world, you need to have something that backs that. You can't just blurt out words.
Right.
You need to test it. You know, do it for yourself. That way, when you talk about it, it's a genuine thing and not something you read in a blog because whoever's shaving this person's coin purse or whatever the hell, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a polite way of saying something really dirty, but
yes, I like it.
That's kind of how I do. That's how I do.
Yeah, you're very creative. I had to like process what you said for a second.
I know.
It's clever. Yeah.
Oh man.
Very.
Yeah, watch that. So I mean, you know,
chalk one up for you real quick back there. Okay. Got it on the board.
I'm just kidding.
It's all right, man. Pat yourself on the back. It'll be okay. We all need to do that every once in a while.
I know, man. You should. But I'm looking forward to that, man. You get that rolling, that's gonna be great.
Yeah, I want to, man. I put out a video on my channel, sort of announcing it. You know, day before yesterday, I can't remember. And so far, it's crickets. I haven't gotten one email. You know, like. And of course, I'm not a huge channel or anything, so it's not like I've reached all that many people. But I'll keep working at it, And I mean, not everybody's willing to go on air and debate. Like I am.
I'm ready.
I'll do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah. But of course, dude. I mean, you guys obviously. I mean, you got a hold of Cliff, and you had that whole conversation with him live on air, and I was super impressed by that, man. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Number one, they actually convinced, didn't convince him, but compelled him to come on.
Yeah.
He did it.
It took some compelling, yeah.
Yeah, and then the discussion was had, and everybody got to say their side, and no one went off the rails, or there was no but you're full of crap. You're full of crap. You're full of crap. That never happened.
It's funny how
Cliff apologized. He apologized.
Yeah, that was what was crazy. Is like Shane and I talked before we went on, and we both kind of come to the agreement that this is going to last about 15 minutes, and because I thought he would come on and say something super arrogant, because I had all these preconceived notions of him, and I was like, this dude's gonna come on, he's gonna run his mouth, I'm gonna just escalate to a 10 real quick, and it's gonna get ugly, and then we're gonna cuss each other out, and he's gonna leave, and it's gonna be over, and then we're gonna just bash him the rest of the show and have a great day. And so when he came on, and of course, I'm emailing him and messaging him back and forth, and I'm being extremely polite. I'm like, hey, look, I know we had this disagreement. It's public now. People on your side, our side, they know we're having this beef, if you want to call it. And like, I think it's a great time for you to come on our show, because our show is nothing. You know what I mean? Like, we have no following. It's not like we're, huge by any means. I said, but it gives you a little bit of credibility to come to us and let's air it out and show how we all can be adults about things. And the dude accepted. And when he came on, he was super cool. And I was just like, oh man, like I was prepared for this battle. And like, if you watch that again, you'll see in the beginning, like I'm pre-agitated. Like,
right.
I'm telling Shane before, like, I'm going to destroy this man. Like, I'm going to just annihilate him. This is my mission. I'm going in hot. And then he apologizes, and I'm just like, well, you know what? He's just another dude. You know what I mean? And he's like, he's being sincere. And so I'm like, all right.
He was.
Yeah. And then he stayed on for 2 hours, And so, yeah, it was cool. I think it was good for him. It was good for us. I think it was good for the Bigfoot community,
I agree 100%. It changed my mind on my view of him. Not that I had like any hardcore view, but it's like, a TV guy, and or Bigfooter, but TV guy, and blah blah blah, and it changed my view of him. I was like, man, I'll if I'm ever out there, I'll go check out his museum. Like, cool,
And then I ran into him at the what was the deal in Texas?
Big Dog.
Shane
Jefferson,
and I went over to him. He knew who I was. We talked. He come over to our table, checked our cast, took measurements. Of course, then that led to the whole other deal that we got in.
Yeah, and this is the whole problem I have with him now is, he apologized, whatever. Yeah. And then that was a broadcast. So, this dude's been on TV for 10 years and, whatever. And so that was what it was, even though we're not nothing. Yeah. And then we get to a conference, and we have a person that actually went out to our spot while we were casting tracks that day, and was questioning these shoe tracks, which were mine, in the track, because I walked in it.
Yeah.
So you stepped in it.
Right. I stepped in it, and they're my Adidas. That's why we have this whole Adidas thing going on.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's like this guy shows Cliff this, and Cliff monetizes on this thing. And this is what changes it for me for good with him, is he's got this guy thinking, well, this dude, since his track is right there, this is what he did. And so now this willfully dense man is convinced that's what happened. And so that's spread across the conference. And I hadn't even seen the guy all day, and I say what's up, and he wants to pull me aside and talk to me. and he's so heated. I'm like, what is the fuel?
Yeah.
But you know what? That track he had, guess where it's at? He gave it to Cliff. Cliff took it to his museum to hang on his wall of shame.
Yeah.
Because it is allegedly a hoax in his mind.
Oh, not allegedly. It's a hoax in their world.
No, it's a hoax.
Yeah, it's not alleged there. Yeah. It's concrete hoax.
So it's like,
just because it had a shoe print in it?
Yeah.
So here's
how do you use a shoe to hoax a big footprint?
And that's what I'm talking about.
Footprint.
That's what I was talking about, Pat. Like that's what I was talking about. Like if you're gonna come and feel true to what you're saying, like this is what happened. Test it.
Yeah.
Take your notes. Make it flawless. Make it definitive before really backing the idea.
Well, I don't understand how you could use a shoe to hoax a Bigfoot print and still get the shoe print in there. That makes no sense to me at all.
And it was done 5 times because there was 5 tracks in this trackway. So 5 times.
Here's the issue I have, and Pat, you're a sensible, intelligent man. This is what I was told. I was told that the track was there before he made the Bigfoot impression, and somehow the Adidas track went down an inch into the soil and maintained its integrity while he pressed the print down. And I said, and I just asked a simple question. I said, well, wouldn't that rub out the Adidas track if you were pressing down with something else? And he said, I don't know how he did it, but that's what he did. And I said, doesn't it make more sense that he stepped in the track after the track was made? And I even played devil's advocate. I said, even if Shane did make this track, let's say Shane is the biggest hoaxer and he's got me fooled. I said, doesn't it seem more logical that he stepped in it after he fabricated it? And he said, no, that's not it. He stepped there and then he pressed the track. And I'm just like, I just don't, I'm not defending Shane at this point. I'm like, I just don't understand your logic. Like, I cannot comprehend how that would work.
And Brian, I respect that you took that mind frame, as close as we are as friends, as teammates, as a team, that you stepped aside and brought yourself back here as an individual.
Yeah, you have to.
And looked at it. Yeah,
you do.
Because the allegation is huge for us as a group, right? Not just on you and me, but like SBA. Mm-hmm. It reflects on Tim and Shane, the guys that we run with, Mr. Bill and everybody. And so I was just trying to understand his logic on it, and you remember how upset I was when I left there. And I went straight the next day to Squatch Creek.
You did.
And recreated that. Like I tried to put my footprint, and then I actually took like a piece of wood and started pressing out, I didn't make a track because I'm not the artist like Shane is, but I made an impression. And every time I did it, it stamped out my shoe print. And that's what I was trying to make my point was like, and that's like what we'll go back to what Shane says, get out there and recreate it and make your decision from that, off what you do yourself, not what you think. And I just could not ever grasp his logic on it. And it really, really, really bothered me. And I think it upset me because I like this guy so much.
Yeah, that was me too.
Like I genuinely like the dude, I talk to him all the time, not just Bigfoot stuff. And for him to go there and that was his reasoning, like it really, really, really bothered me because I'm just like, man, you're way smarter than this. You're a way better investigator in the Bigfoot world to let this one thing and not think this thing through just because you got this celebrity on the line. You know what I mean? He's on the bait.
Yeah, that can corrupt people's brains.
What do you think about that? Yeah, what do you think about that, Pat? I mean, seriously.
That can corrupt people's brains, especially if you're not used to dealing with a celebrity. I don't know. It's so weird for me. Like, I get that could be what the judgment problem is. Just because Cliff's involved, he was on the most successful Bigfoot TV show. Well,
sure.
Roughly, I don't know. I would like to see compared to Survivor Man, Bigfoot, but yeah.
I bet it's the most successful just because of all the.
Well, it was like 8 years, right? So it was long running,
and it became a household name.
Yeah,
Those guys are well known. You know,
it was a successful TV show. You know, that's the only thing I ever have to say about it is that Bigfoot people in the Bigfoot world need to stop like giving them crap about it. I'm like, dude, they were on a successful TV show. I mean, they got paid to show up and film episodes and like really paid, you know, to some degree, you know. Yeah. But anyway, I just think that all of a sudden you're interacting with a celebrity, and if you're not used to that in any way, it might be the first celebrity this guy's ever communicated with. That can cloud your judgment to hell, you know. So
I think so. I think that was a huge factor in that whole situation.
Probably that would be my guess. You know, it's weird. It's like there's really no celebrity that can faze me. You know,
I hear you, man. I'm with you, dude.
Like I've hung out with household names. You know, and I'm not bragging. I'm just saying I've done it, and I did it at a young age, and it blew my mind. Of course, I mean, I was like, "Whoa!" You know, I can't believe I'm partying with guys that had posters on my wall like 5 years ago. You know, like that was cool stuff. But it was the reason why I was able to show up on set of The Walking Dead and work with, at the time, those guys. That principal cast was they were like rock stars, man. They were some of the biggest celebrities in the world, and work with them intimately, and you know, not know what to do and what not to do, right? You know, so yeah, I would say that was probably a factor. You know, what happened there, and it's just unfortunate. And I hate to even hear that it's like it kind of had a second round like that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, great.
It was a second unnecessary round, and then we had to end up like doing damage control and giving away the spot, and because if not, it's just going to be out there anyways. Because someone felt that this was happening to them personally, and as I've told Brian, is you know, we're not some kind of Make-A-Wish foundation for little cowboys to go out in the woods and find Bigfoot tracks on the day that we meet them.
And you know what killed that deal though is that whole thing started as a benefit, right? Matter of fact, it was a year ago today that we started that benefit.
That's right, it did.
And so the point of that whole meeting was, you know, hey, these other guys in your group bought this cast for you as a donation to her. You know,
it was a celebration of positive.
Yeah, and so it got all lost in the true meaning of what we was doing. And was it cool that we had tracks that day? Yeah, coincidental, and it seemed extremely fishy. Even me and Shane have talked about it.
We're like, what the?
What are the odds? You know what I mean? And we weren't even going to go back in the creek. I think we were talking out front, and I said, "Hey, we're here." You know, like Shane had no idea we were going to go back there. Like,
it
was my
the Wrangler was in the shop. I took my wife's brand new car.
Yeah.
There's no way in God's balls I'm going to drive her car down those roads.
Right.
If I wanted to not sleep on the couch that night, there's no way in hell I was going to take that fucking car. Car down the road.
I don't have a beep button, do I? On my.
We need a delay.
I think I got. But. Yeah, so it wasn't even like Shane's idea to even go to the bridge. You know, I'm like, hey, we're here. Let's go check it out. You know what I mean? Like, you drove all this way. You might as well see, and we'll tell you the story, you know, because the original story of the original tracks is the coolest story. And so we get there, and I just start going into the story. And I step off the bridge, and I'm like, hey, this was here, this tree branch was here, blah, blah, blah. We think he went this way, and he broke this branch over here, blah, blah, blah. And he's the one who spotted the tracks after we're there talking. You know what I mean? So when did Shane step in the track? Probably when we're telling the story, because I'm
dude. I could actually see in the video when I was doing all the live video back and forth of the track. Because I get excited, dude.
Yeah.
it's like Santa Claus came down the chimney and shit and just like crapped the cast of The Walking Dead in my stocking. And I'm like, hell yeah, you know. So,
well, it's hard not to get excited.
yeah,
This is what we're looking for. You know what I mean? This is what we put the work in for, and
true.
I don't want to get off in the weeds about this thing because,
well,
you know.
But can I give you guys some advice?
Sure.
Yes, Pat.
And I'll say this very, very humbly. This is not my advice. This is coming from like my guys, not me. I would have never thought to give you this advice, but because I've been influenced by so many people lately in the Bigfoot world, and some of them are trackers, like real trackers. I would say this. This is my advice. Take it or leave it. Forget casting tracks. Follow them. Don't forget casting them. Like we got casts. We got casts. Meldrum has a whole office full of freaking casts that he thinks are legit. You know, Cliff probably has some too, right? I mean, we've got, I don't know, 300 plus casts that are considered to be legit, including Patty, right? Forget casting and follow them. That's what my guys would say. If they, I'm kind of speaking for them in spirit, you know, they would be like, forget the bloody track, find the one after it.
Yeah.
You know,
and we do that, and we may not show that when we're doing it, but I mean, we do our normal circle patterns. You know, we all spread out, do the little centrifugal circles.
So you're doing some of this.
We're doing.
Oh my God, we have been all over that place like you wouldn't believe.
Our deal with casting the tracks is because we're looking for similarities in them. We're looking for telltale signs that tells us, is this one animal? Is it two animals? Is it three?
We actually have a very good similarity from spring of 2018 and January of 2019, a 16-inch leader entity that has a weird kind of, it's almost like a callus type of contusion thing on the heel.
Okay. Well, then, you know what? Now I'll rewind a little bit, because that is a good reason to cast.
Yeah.
If you can show that a year later you found the same track, even Meldrum would, you know, he that has happened to him personally, to where, so that is an important feature of casting.
Yeah, I don't have my cast on a mantle. You know, they're still locked up in boxes. You know, I keep them safe. But for me, I just need the evidence. Like I want to see if everything is growing. I want to see it, you know, is it 16 inches this year? Next year, is it going to be 16 and a half? Is it going to be 17?
Exactly.
Is this thing maxed out? So are we dealing with an adult female now because the foot's so small? And then we have this 20-inch. Is it going to be 21 next? You know, so there's all these things I keep asking myself. You know, like, okay, this set of tracks has this splayed toe. This set doesn't. So does that mean these are related? Is this normal? You know, that's the things we're looking for in the track. So
that, and then like these things, like we're not selling them or anything. I want people to see them.
Yeah, that's
touch them.
Yeah,
right. Ingrain it in, because if you're into this, because it took me a long time to figure out the amount of space that gets punched into the ground is what you're looking for.
Yeah,
right.
So ingrain that in your brain, like burn it in there. Here's what they look like. I don't think Steven Spielberg is screwing with us in the woods.
Right. Or Shaquille O'Neal.
Or Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, right. Foot's nowhere near that size.
I really don't think he gives a shit about one guy from Texas and everybody else from Oklahoma. I don't think so.
And another thing that's cool too is, like, you know, when we go to these shows, you know, because Shane and I like doing the shows. We like talking to people.
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
It's just how we are. But I get a ton of joy bringing these casts and letting little kids take pictures with them. Because
I bet that is fun for them.
So they're holding these things that are bigger than their upper torso, you know, and they're holding these things, and the smile is just insane. You know,
their eyes are like,
and that gets these guys, you know, they're hooked. You know what I mean? They're little kids, and they're just like, man, this is cool. Like, this is something I want to get out in the woods and look for. And so we got all these new Bigfooters now that are little, and they're seeing this evidence firsthand. That just gives them something to, I don't know, maybe like a little goal or something they can look for. So I like that part of it, and I love the
great.
kids asking questions and stuff like that. So,
Pat, are you ever going to make it to any of these conferences?
Yeah, I'm actually attending my very first Bigfoot conference ever in June, and it is the it's the ECBRO Virginia conference.
Okay, Daniel's deal, right?
Yeah, Daniel Benoit.
Daniel Benoit.
Yes.
And you think he's ever like in the woods and like sees a Bigfoot? He's like, I'm Daniel Benoit, and the Bigfoot's like, oh shit, your last name is fancy. How can I help you?
we can only hope, right?
I'd like to go to that, but it's in Virginia. It's a long
way. It's kind of a long ways from you guys. But oddly enough, so that'll be my first ever Bigfoot conference I've been to, and my first ever speaker role at a Bigfoot conference.
Oh, all right, here we go.
So, yeah,
dude, that might be worth a go, man, because I would like to watch Pat speak.
It's the double shotgun, man. It's like it's the first time I've been to one, and I'm speaking at it. So cool. I don't know.
You're like,
cool. It'll be fun.
You're like, damn, I just got here, and there's a spotlight on you. What the hell,
dude? I don't even. I mean, it's cool that I'll be able to get to speak and like do my spiel for an hour or whatever. But dude, what I'm excited about is the camaraderie. I'm like, dude, we're gonna have Bigfoot party tonight, guys.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just gonna be fun, dude. Getting to meet people and finally meet people in real life. Mm-hmm. 'Cause we're all so spread out. Well, this is what we do.
Yeah.
This here, and it's like to actually like. I've never met Daniel in real life,
Oh, okay.
And we've been friends for like well over a year now. So that'll be fun, man. Just the camaraderie and hanging out and.
Damn it! Now I want to go.
Yeah. I don't know. That's about. God, what is that?
What town is it in? What city?
It's in. It's close to Harrisonburg, Virginia. It's close to that area.
Harrisonburg, Virginia. From my house is
800 miles.
Please wait. 1,226 miles. It is a 18-hour drive.
Okay, so I've driven to Missouri and back. That's about 1,000 miles. No, that's about
5 hours.
That's
a good drive. You gotta go across Tennessee, and that's a long haul if you're ever driving.
We can switch off, man. We can switch off.
We could fly there. Probably would be cheaper.
So, I mean, 2 day. You can do it pretty easily in 2 days, I think.
Yeah.
But I want to bring the tracks.
Yeah.
You gotta bring the tracks.
Yeah.
Well, of course, dude. I mean, that would be a thing.
Southwest Airlines with the tracks. So.
Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, think about it. It's it's in late June.
Damn it, Pat, and your persuasive's talking.
So you have time. You have time to plan and think about it. Like I have to plan for it too. I mean, it's God. I don't know. It's probably more like a 9-hour drive for me, something like that. Yeah,
that's a pretty good drive too. I mean, I know
it is.
Ain't nothing to sneeze at.
So. Yeah, a day to get up there, a day to get back. So that's 2 days just to be there.
That's a 2-day conference.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm.
Hey, you're gonna have anybody film your with your
presentation
speech out there? Yeah, your presentation.
Is anybody gonna film it?
Yeah.
I don't know if Daniel's gonna have a dedicated like filming thing going on. I probably need to ask him about that.
He may go live with it.
Yeah, I may just. He may. I mean, that's not a bad idea, actually. But I mean, if anything, man, I'll put my iPhone on a tripod and film it myself. I don't know.
Yeah,
it'd be cool to see, man. It would. I think it would be great to see.
Yeah.
I think going live with it would be cool because it might get some people that are a little too far away that may be kind of like on the fence about going, and then they watch it live and they're like, all right, man, that looks like a cool conference. I definitely want to make it next year. So
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
What, 2 or 3 years now?
This will be the third one, which was supposed to happen last year.
Oh, of course, COVID
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So if
Freaking COVID.
it weren't for freaking COVID, Shane, then this would have been the fourth year. But it's the third one. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody right here going. Ginger says she's going.
Well, there you go. Ginger's going.
Yeah, I mean, I think people that can, get to it reasonably will want to go. So I don't think any kind of live streaming of it would ruin that. In fact, so I'm going to talk to Daniel about that. Like, I haven't even thought. I never even thought to like live stream the whole thing or the speakers and all that. Like, that would be cool.
Yeah, it'd be neat.
Mm-hmm.
I need to probably talk to him these days because I secretly want to host a conference here in Oklahoma.
Ooh.
Like I've talked about it.
You should talk to Daniel, man. He knows how to do it.
I know it could be expensive.
Yeah, just do it in a smaller place. Start small.
Brian, I've helped market conferences over in my career. I'm on board.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can figure that out. Get some sponsors and.
Yeah. Don't go try and rent the Tulsa, Oklahoma, the
BOK Center or something like that.
Civic Center. 20,000 people.
We have fairgrounds out here, and there's a bunch of buildings. Like you get big buildings and little buildings. In the smaller buildings, they do like gun and knife shows and things like that.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think even Wool Heater this year is doing a open concept for the conference instead of it being in that building that's been in for years.
Well, that's such a small building. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of people that went through that place.
Yeah, it's like not COVID friendly.
It was not very COVID friendly, but I mean, I didn't mind, but
right. But all that's changing too, obviously.
Yes.
With the, I mean, we have infection rate over the past year now, and now vaccine rate, and herd immunity will come, man. All this, restrictions, especially in friendly areas, I'll say, are gonna be. I mean, well, hell, Texas has already said, screw it, do whatever.
Oh, I know. Abbott, in his wheelchair, came out and said, "Fucking Texas is open."
Right? Yeah. Like, yeah. Right? Yeah. Metallica is going to show up and play in front of 80,000 people who are dying to see a rock show. Like,
yeah.
Shane went there with a wheelchair.
Of course I did, man. I live in Texas. I have the right.
If you're governor, you can do what you want.
He's my damn governor.
You're elected official. So.
Pat, will COVID turn into the zombie apocalypse?
I think some people want it to. Like, oh man, I wanted zombies, right? Yeah. You see that meme, right? Like
that's kind of
no. It's a God, I don't want to get too deep down this road, but it's it's legitimately a novel virus to the human species, and it seems to be a pretty bad one from all the anecdotal evidence that I've collected. Knock you on your ass kind of thing.
It will, man.
If not hospitalize you, right? Obviously, we know about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not good, and but we will kick its butt, man. We'll turn it into the
common. Hell yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. We'll survive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Be something else in a couple of years. Some new virus.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm telling you, man, because
hopefully not from a lab.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
You know, I mean, China.
Mercy.
Who knows, man? Maybe Abbott will be president one day and he'll roll out and just
you ain't gonna
roll it all out, dude. I don't know. Who knows, man? Oh my god.
I think our governor is right behind yours, though. I think he came out and said no masks needed, like in government buildings or anything like that. But the city, as far as Oklahoma City, our mayor says we're still wearing masks. Now,
yeah, you kind of get that. Yeah.
Yeah, I live in a little town just outside of Oklahoma City called Mustang, and it's just kind of a free for all here. Like people just don't care, like unless you go to Walmart, and then you got masked Nazis that are like, "Hey, no, you better come in here without that mask," So they'll attack you at the door. But everywhere else, like restaurants and stuff, I think people have just given up. They're just like,
yeah.
If you want to, don't wear it. If you don't want to, we don't care. Just come buy something. So.
Yeah, I mean, whatever your views on COVID are, or psychologically, I could say this: like I study people sometimes, and I'm like, people are just tired of it.
Yeah,
it's been a freaking year, and I'm sorry, man, you can't suppress human nature. That after that much, man, people are just gonna go, screw it, I don't care. Like, I just don't care. And that's not me saying that. I think that's just like sort of how human beings work generally.
Yeah.
And so that's just gonna happen, man. They don't want to be shut into their homes. They don't want to be. They want to go socialize with people. We're social creatures,
Yep.
And so
that's messed up, Doug.
Doug,
that is messed up. But I am laughing my ass off on the inside.
When I saw it pop up,
damn it, Doug.
I laughed, and then I thought, man, should we show that?
Well, I'm going to hit the go button.
I know you are. So.
Facebook user.
I know. This is Pat. Poor Pat's been trying to get us to.
We're like the kids that don't listen. Pat's like, I gotta fix this, and it's been like what 6 months, and we still we'll fix it this week. And
we show up in Virginia in June. He's gonna have like a how-to guide notebook on this right here for us.
He's gonna be like, just bring your computer. I'm gonna fix it for you guys while you're here.
Fix that shit for you right now.
I'm tired of looking at this.
Yeah.
We had a comment earlier.
What's that?
Did you see the orb video?
I did see that. So there's a gentleman in our group. He had some kind of, I read it once. He had like some kind of camera or some kind of setup, and the dude was catching some weird little, just
Yeah.
stuff
I saw the post, but I didn't get to watch it.
Yeah, it was pretty. It's a good. Hey, he said, hey, here I have this. This is what I caught. Here's the video. And by God, there it was. So can't ask for anything more than that,
Dudes, I'll tell you this right now because I've been sitting on it. Sometimes I talk about it, and I'll talk about it here. It's just not something I'm focused on. But I have 45 minutes of orb footage I cannot explain.
Whoa!
And I'm an aviator. Like, I understand things in the air. I fly aircraft. I know, dude, I can look at a plane in the sky and tell you, like, 30,000 feet in the air what kind of plane it is, like what model it is. I know aviation, and I have 45 minutes of orb footage that I did not take, but someone I know took, and I can't explain it. and
Wow.
and it has it has some crazy stuff happen at the end. The dam, it comes. This is all happening like maybe a few hundred yards in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And at the very end, something comes down and it's like 30 feet in front of the camera, and I cannot explain it. Wow. I'm not an orb guy. I don't know what is going on with that phenomenon, if it's related to Bigfoot or not. I'm not ready to make that leap.
Yeah.
But I've seen the footage and I was like, oh wow, I don't know what that is. I have no idea.
That's pretty wild.
Hey Pat, I have a couple of videos I took last year. One was in the summertime. Oh, they were both in summer. They were like we'll see. One was in June, one was in July. One's in daytime and one's in nighttime. And I live near it's called Sphinx. It's like a municipal airport. It's small planes and whatnot. And we see people doing their fly test, helicopters, you name it, drones, that are flown from, not people flying them, because I think that's frowned upon over here in this space. But the things I caught, I think I'm going to send them to you, man, because you've got the knowledge, and I don't feel like it's planes.
Okay.
It's weird, man. So I'll send those to you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the important thing that I have about the footage I have, because what you're looking at in the screen are lights doing weird things, but I have the story that went along with it.
Ooh.
Crazy. And not from, a sophisticated person at all. You know what I mean? Just a very, country person, not somebody that knows how to do CGI or anything like that.
Yeah.
Or would have ever had any motive to try and make me fall for something. So yeah, it's I have the story that goes along with it. It's head scratching, man, and it's almost like a separate. It's like, okay, let me just figure out this Bigfoot thing, then I'll deal with the orb thing. Not that that's harder to deal with. I don't know. I mean, I guess I could go chase him with my drone.
Yeah.
If I ever saw him, like I put the drone in the air and just go fly out there and chase him. Whatever happens, happens. It'll all be captured,
right.
Regardless. So
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Orbs, UFOs.
Oh my God! It's like I always tell. I've talked to Brian about this. Like, I'm just trying to wrap my head around this big hairy thing that's walking in the woods.
Yes, me too.
Crap.
That's my only focus. I can't start attaching things to that, because that just gets convoluted as hell, man. It's like, there's no evidence to back up any kind of connection. I don't care. I'm not going to say I don't care how many people have seen orbs and a Bigfoot at the same time. I do care. It seems to be not that many.
Yeah.
So that's not a causation or an attachment between those two things. So yeah, why in the hell, guys, are people seeing 8-foot tall monkey men in the woods? I want to know why.
Yeah.
And what that is. I want to know why is a 8-foot tall monkey man up there 20 miles away from me, somewhere in those North Georgia mountains? What are they doing there? Why don't we know about them? That's the question I want answered. And damn it, we're going to answer it.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're hoping, right? Like, everybody kind of work together.
Well, it's changing.
Community.
Yeah.
There's some things changing about it. I mean, if you have to be a critical thinker, objective, open-minded, and all those things work together, and skeptical at the same time. And all those things are tools. And if you have those tools in your bag and you have the mental capacity to use those tools somewhat correctly, nobody could ever master that, but just use them correctly, then you're damn right we can get it done, because that's called that's a form of professionalism, and that's what lacks in the Bigfoot world is professionals. Even though we have professionals, some people have professional skill sets like I do. I have a professional skill set, you know.
Yes, sir.
But it's just all about the thinking and the right attitude, and you have to approach it, I think, in a very objective way, and stick to that. And if enough people do that, you damn right we can start getting answers. We can start learning more. I mean, we're on the 1 yard line, guys. Like it by our own end zone.
Yeah.
Not
going in. Yeah.
Not the discovery end zone. We're on the 1 yard line of our own end zone, man. And what's it gonna take, man? Let's pass the ball, put it on the 30. Come on.
Yeah. There we go. You know? There we go, man.
And
put me in, coach. Put me in.
And keep Jerry Jones's ass out of it. Oh.
He just showed his checks aside.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know, I guess I'm lucky enough. I don't remember if Pat's had an encounter or not, but I was lucky enough to see one in the daytime. So I don't know. I feel like I have a little bit of an edge. I might not be on that 1 yard line. You know, I might be on the 2.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But I still have so many questions. So many questions.
Yeah.
Because I still to this day I don't know what I saw.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, and right. It was a quick observation, right?
10, 15 minutes probably.
10. Oh wow, that's not a quick observation.
Yeah,
that's actually a very unusually long observation.
Yeah, and it seemed like it was longer than that. I mean, it felt like an eternity.
Because I didn't know that.
You know, and I had someone with me, so it wasn't me out by myself. You know, there was no alcohol involved, and like I said, it was daytime. It was 4 in the afternoon or something like that.
Because I wasn't there.
Probably. Yeah.
The no alcohol involved part.
It's okay.
Or something else.
That I hate it when people try to interject alcohol. Not that you just interjected alcohol, but outsiders say, "Well, were you drunk?"
Yeah.
And I'm like,
"Oh yeah."
I'm like, well, everybody gets drunk.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure alcohol does not cause hallucinations. Because if it did, there would be a Bigfoot in every freaking bar in America.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God! If alcohol did that, it would be like one of the #1 top tippity tops of the party.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't realize you actually got to observe it that long.
Yeah. It was it was a while, and I still though like can't really wrap my head around it. You know, like it just.
Well, I don't know. I mean, did it look like a hominid, or did it look like spooky?
No, it wasn't spooky. It looked more gorilla.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything was black. There was like, you know, I know you talk. Some people say there's like a different kind of skin color. Mine was just all black, and it was just the head. Is all I can see. His head, a little bit of the shoulder, like maybe what would be a neck if there was one, you know, but like from here up, maybe.
Yeah.
What I saw. And it was moving. So this thing was like bobbing below a stump and then raising its head up and looking at us. And it did that several times before it finally had its hands around the stump and then went to the side and was looking at me. So Tim and I both saw it. I was the first one to saw it, and I saw it just by accident. I was just scanning the area, and just out of the corner of my eye, the thing moved. And as soon as it moved, I zeroed in on it, and I just stared and stared and stared until it started to pop its head back up. And when it popped its head back up, I caught it. And once I witnessed that a couple times, like 2 to 3 times of it going down and coming up and looking at us, then that's when I got Tim involved and had him kind of focusing in on that area. And that's when he got to see it a couple times. So, but not only did we see it, I mean, we had a couple rocks thrown at us before we saw it. We heard the thing walk up, and then we saw it, and then we actually heard it walk away from us. And the crazy thing is like, I'm like guns blazing kind of guy. Like, man, if I ever see a Bigfoot, I'm just going to run right out to it and clip some hair off of it, you know? And I tell everybody that, you know, like, oh, big bad Brian's going to go do this. I froze. I didn't move.
Yeah.
You know, and when it left, and Tim and I still had a camp that night. You know, everybody else had went home. We had been there 3 days prior.
Man, I just missed that by a day.
Everybody went home, but Tim and I, we stayed another night, and I refused to talk about it. I was like, you know what? We're going to do our normal thing. We're going to go through our normal plan. We're going to go to our campsite. We're not going to talk about it. We're going to focus on where we're at, do our normal thing, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. And that's what we did. And the next day we started talking. I'm like, nah, I'm just not ready to talk about it. I was like, you know, and I went through everything with him, just trying to throw him off. Like, oh man, that was a bear. Had to have been a bear. He's like, nah, that wasn't no bear. And I'm like, I was a raccoon. It was a raccoon on top of the stump. And he's like, it's not no raccoon. Why are you doing this? And I was like, we'll talk about it in a couple of days. And we didn't say anything to Shane or Dustin or anybody. Like we kept it just between Tim and I. And we waited probably a day or two, and then finally I got Tim on the phone. I said, all right, or actually I think Tim may have came over. I don't remember. He either called me or we met up. And I said, all right, what'd you see? He said, you know what we saw? I said, what'd you see? And he's like, we saw Bigfoot. And I said, yeah, I know we did. And he goes, how sure are you? And I said, I'm 100% now. But at that time I was messing with him like, oh, I'm 60%. Maybe 75%, you know, because you can't let your opinion influence someone else, right? You got to let them focus and let them, you know, cycle it through their thoughts and things like that. And so I just tried to just stay out of his head, you know, the best I could, and not say, oh man, we saw a Bigfoot, you know. I just wanted to just let him process it for what he saw. And then we start comparing notes. Okay, what did you see? What did it look like to you? And once his story matched my story, I was like, all right, we need to let the guys know what happened. And I think we went back, like, was it the next weekend or the weekend after?
It was very shortly after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it might have been 2 weeks later. We did a follow-up.
And then we did so Brian kind of said us like, hey, this is where we were, and this is where we saw it. And a few of the fellows went over there to where they saw it. And not two of them could actually fill the void that this thing was,
right?
The space it was taking up. So then I was like, holy shnikes.
Yeah. And once we walked over to it with them and we really saw the size of what we were dealing with, I'm like, okay, this thing was big. Like, it was bigger than what I originally thought, you know? Like, the head was, I mean, I can't even get it in the frame, you know, but it was huge, you know?
Yeah, they're big.
Hey, not to mention, Brian, but when I forgot who went over there. I don't know if you went over there, because I was at the point of view spot.
Yeah.
Dude, y'all whoever was over there looked tiny.
Yeah, because it's probably, I don't know, what do you think, Shane? It was like 60, 70 yards, maybe?
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
And the terrain was like this. It was very.
It wasn't where I could get a full sprint at it. I mean, it has some little finger valleys, you know, that weren't big, but if I was to walk down them, I would disappear. And then I'd have to walk up and kind of regain my bearings. Where is it at? And then I'd have to go down another one. So if it wanted to get away, it knew it could get away.
Yeah,
you know?
The
point that it came in. What really struck me odd is that it came in from a low approach, and I've always kind of thought that these things would take more of a hunter mentality and would approach you from a high point just to have that advantage on you. But this thing didn't. It came from the actual lowest point that it could have came to us at, and I thought that was odd. And that's just me being the hunter and thinking if I'm stalking something or checking something, I want to attack it from high ground where I have the advantage. And this thing didn't. Like, it came from the lowest point. And I thought that was kind of odd. So that's just a observation that I made.
Yeah, but they were just or whatever it was just observing you.
Yeah.
It wasn't I don't think it was a hunter mentality, honestly.
No,
I don't think that's a thing with them.
No, I don't either. I just think that anytime you want to, you know, not necessarily hunt to say like hunt to kill or anything like that, but anytime you're stalking something, you know, to get a vantage point, you would think I'm going to take high ground here. That way, if I need to get away, roll down the side of this hill and I could be gone. Whereas this thing came down from a bottom area. So if I was a threat, I actually had a little bit of advantage on this thing. Like if I was armed and I wanted to, do it,
Wow.
I could actually probably have moved to my right and got to a point where this thing funneled down into, I probably realistically could have shot it if I wanted to. You know what I mean? Just because of where he put himself. He put himself in a spot where he wouldn't have got away very quickly because everything would have had to been an upward climb. Now, he knows that if I'm unarmed, which I was, I don't stand a chance, chasing him down at that point, he's easily going to get away from me if we're going uphill. But from a hunting standpoint, if that would have been my goal, I think he put himself in a bad spot. So
that's interesting because I don't think they slip up very often.
No, from what I've heard, and it may have just been a fluke deal. I mean, we went into an area that we had never been into. It had been on my radar for a while, and we have talked about some characteristics of the area, as far as why we think they would be there. And it was just a matter of, we had this huge event with all these people. And I think, Shane, we had like 30 people or something that came out for this open invite.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so,
okay, that's a lot.
Shane may not realize this, but we kind of went and strategically placed people. Well, I placed people around this area, not in this area, because I was being kind of selfish. Like I didn't want some new person. And this is brutal.
It's my Bigfoot, and nobody can have him.
This is brutal honesty.
Oh.
So we're inviting these people that we have never met to our main research area, right? So I don't want them going into this area that we have not molested, right? I want them around the areas that we have been to. So I think we kind of funneled maybe some stuff and just had these things choked down to a certain area. And then after everybody left, Tim and I just snuck in quietly and just did a little quick tour, like we weren't going to camp there. We weren't going to make a lot of noise. It's like, hey, let's just go in here, check this area for a future stop. And that's what we did. And I think we just got lucky by doing that. So.
Yeah. You kind of like flip the script on the predictable human behavior.
True.
Yeah. Which is I think a tactic that people should use more. And I guess some do. I mean, I didn't just think of that, but it's like, go out to that remote primitive campsite wherever in the country, and like on a Tuesday instead of a Saturday.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like that kind of thing.
And all this area is extremely primitive. I mean, it's not a campsite or anything like that.
Oh no, you're not trekking through that. Like you're not skipping through the woods with your thumb in Bambi's ass.
Yeah, it's not a $12 pay and pull a tent up type place.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh look, there's a grill cemented into the ground. Cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here in Georgia, our primitive sites are just that. They're just clearings. Yeah. There's not grills, or you don't have to pay any money. Like you gotta have a 4-wheel drive vehicle to get out there.
There you go.
Exactly. Yeah. See, here in Oklahoma, you have some primitive camping, which is a nice flat spot for you to put your tent. You might have a well pump. There might be a bathhouse down at the end of the street. That's primitive here. And
don't get me started on Texas.
But we are extreme primitive. I mean, it's just raw land. So.
Yeah.
Texas, it's campsites for those that want to camp from their driveway right into another concrete driveway type thing with a grill and a little pre-made spot for your tents. It's that, or primitive is get your ass in the woods.
Yeah.
And find your spot pretty much. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I either camp on like real primitive sites or private land.
Hey Brian, I was when you were saying of like how it was kind of lower up on the hill, right? Like it came from the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, you were thinking maybe from a hunter's perspective. I think that like a lot of people, including myself, when they're looking for these things or thinking about these things, you kind of put a personification on them. You kind of make them more human.
Yeah.
So you can understand it better. And
yeah.
And we're way behind on that. I don't think we,
Yeah.
which is,
and I'm using just, apex predator type mentality.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
it's just kind of nature that you want to put yourself in a spot where if you need to get away, you can get away the easiest, right? And that's usually at the top of a ridge or midway of a ridge or something like that. Like, you don't really put yourself in a bottom like that if you need to make a quick escape. So I just found it kind of odd that he put us out there. Now, maybe he was just there coincidentally. He may have been there crossing. We walked up, he just froze, and then he kind of snuck in to look at us. I mean, there's 100 different scenarios there. We had the deer that ran through. Maybe he was chasing the deer. He caught the deer in the low area. Who knows? I mean, to me, it seemed like, I don't know, I would think that I'm in a low spot. There's some humans that just pulled up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to circle around behind them and get up on the high spot and see what they're doing, not come up the low spot. It just kind of always struck me as odd, and I haven't really never talked about it with anybody. I mean, it just fresh in my head, and I thought I'd mention it, but it just seemed odd behavior to me. Not that I know their behavior by any means, but
what about you, Pat? When's the last time you've been out camping or in the field or?
Oh man, the last time I went camping was like last May. Unfortunately, I've not been. I just haven't been able to do it, dude. I mean, the world's been upside down. Obviously, work comes and goes, and it's like it's hard. I hope to get back out in the woods for camping because that's what I do. I don't go in the woods looking for Bigfoot. That's not something I do personally, boots on the ground style, But yeah, I'm dying to get up to the mountains and camp a little bit, maybe fly the drone, and eventually have the right technology in my hands that I think is going to be game changing to actively do extreme proactive, search for contact, observational contact,
like that.
Obviously. So, but yeah, I just love being out in the woods, man. I prefer, I think they've come around a couple times with me, and that surprised the hell out of me. Actually, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" kind of thing, at night. I've never seen one, but they've been around, and I've been around them. They've been around me, whatever. And I just prefer to not have that happen because when I go out in the woods, it's for social purposes. It's for my mind. It's for my ease. Like I'm trying to get away from the work, the grind, man. You know what nature does to you, dude. It flushes you. It's like, yeah. So that's my intent. And the last thing I want is some, stompy 8-foot tall, thing that I don't quite understand. Circling my camp or banging on trees or screaming at me and like I don't like that. There's no thrill in that for me. Like some Bigfooters get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I don't, man. I just don't. That's not my deal. And it's cool that some guys do, some of you guys do. I don't. I'm like, no, this is not on my terms. I'm the guy that's like, nope, it's got to be on my terms, not yours.
Let me schedule.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, I got some scheduling going on, brother.
Scheduling? No.
I've got some scheduling going on, and it will be on my terms unless I have some chance encounter out there in the woods. Because I don't let them keep me from the woods. I'm not that guy either,
Mm-hmm.
So, if they come around, they come around. I have a big gun. You know, if
There you go.
If need be, maybe a flamethrower.
Ooh.
Pretty sure that, you know, I mean, you know, I don't want to destroy the woods, but you know,
I hear you, man.
Down.
And my most important weapon, I have 2 Chihuahuas, so it's over.
Done for.
Yeah.
Chewing on Bigfoot toes for days. Just all.
Yep.
Yeah.
They might could get up to the knee.
Ooh. That's some badass Chihuahuas.
Oh, they are. Let me tell you.
That'd be awesome.
Oh man.
Why not?
Why
I need,
not? Man?
I need a Bigfoot dog. I hope Renee's not watching it because she'll be like, "Yeah, you do," because she's been wanting us to get a dog. No.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about Bigfoot, but my cats chew the shit out of this zombie over here. So if the zombie apocalypse ever comes, I that 4 cats are gonna kick some zombie ass.
There you go. There you go.
Shiva.
Right.
That was a cat that killed some zombies.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
The big cat.
A big cat.
Yeah.
That's right.
The Bengal tiger. Yeah.
Yeah. Bengal tiger.
That was the best. That was sick. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't think I watched. Was Walking Dead on last night?
It was. It sucked.
Did it? I didn't watch it.
I'm behind 1 season right now, so
It's so what they did last year, man, was when COVID hit. It hit right before they were start filming. You know what would have been season 11, and they shut down production. And so as COVID went on, they resumed production on a COVID level. So it's these crappy episodes they're putting out from COVID shooting. We call them, like people in the Walking Dead world call them the COVID episodes because it's a small cast. It's 2 or 3 people. And obviously they had small crews. They probably had small crews there to film them. So it's just not The Walking Dead. It's not like The Walking Dead's always been epic.
there's like 1 person in the shot and 1 zombie way back there. Like, oh my god, the zombies are coming, and then it goes to the other person. And they're like, I know.
There's hardly any zombies in it.
I know, and we're talking right now, even though we filmed this separately.
And yeah,
they were in the same woods together.
You can tell like the actors, you know, through like forced perspective shots, you can tell the actors are standing 15 feet away from each other in their scenes. And it's like, and again, it's only 2 of them, and it's like the most boring episodes The Walking Dead's ever put out. So last night, yes, they had an episode last night. It's not even worth watching. In my opinion. Yeah,
I have to watch it.
So
I have to.
I'm still gonna watch it, Pat.
Wait,
No matter
okay.
what you tell me.
I may fast forward a lot of the boring parts.
Pat told me not to watch this, but I'm going to.
Next week
when I sit there and watch it, I'm going to think about everything.
Next week's episode will be good.
Yes, next week's episode will be good. It's called Here's Negan, and it's the same thing. So it's the same style of shooting, where it's a small cast and all that, but it's all about Negan, and they do flashbacks. So it'll be time skipping through current to flashbacks, and they're going to go they're going to go all the way back to Negan's past when he was like pre zombie pandemic. So you get to see Negan, who he was before the apocalypse happened.
Whoa.
And his wife, Lucille, his wife's name was Lucille. That's why he named the bat Lucille. And then how he created the bat, and then how he turned into a badass ruler, and then like where he's at now. So that's going to be worth watching, because that'll be some good content, you know, good plot, good storyline.
I have a replica of that bat.
Yeah, It's like a real replica.
No,
like,
no. It's the McFarlane version.
It's got the yeah. Okay.
But it looks cool, Pat.
Yeah, that
from afar you would think, oh my God, it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that whistle went through everywhere, didn't it?
Yeah.
Damn, I'm gonna get him on a speaker out in the woods to do that. Everything will come out. What? What? Unicorns and shit. What? Coming out. What's up? What was that? Who called me?
Yeah, maybe we'll get a dog man or two.
Oh man!
Finally get them on film.
Good luck.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on that one.
That's a different show. Trust me.
That's a whole different thing, man. I can't wrap my head around that.
No, nobody can.
It's a story for Jacob.
Yeah, that's a Jacob Gomez episode right there.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, mercy.
Well,
what else is going on with you, Pat?
Not much, man. Just working and living my life best I can. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any, like I got my drone. Like I'm wanting to do some drone stuff and do some, like aerial productions.
So what kind of drone are you flying? Is it a Phantom or?
Yeah, it is. It's DJI Phantom 4 Pro V2. So it's the top of the Phantom series. It's a great drone.
Yeah.
And it's not great for looking for Bigfoot. It's just not, really you have to, if you're going to look for Bigfoot from the air, it has to be a thermal platform.
Yeah, for sure.
So at night, when the canopy's down, like my whole spiel, at night when the canopy's down in the wintertime, and you're going to get that nice signature. It's actually going to see a Bigfoot better than your own eyes, like from that distance, which might be 100 feet away. It's pretty good. It's gonna, but it has to be good thermal. So, like, I tell people this: it's like you can't do it cheap. You can't try and hybrid something, Mary. You can't stick your iPhone on a drone and with some thermal app or something like.
With a little FLIR app.
Yeah, you can't do that, man. You have to pay about 10 grand for the camera.
I bet.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's what it takes. Like, and that technology is advanced enough. It really is, man, to where if you did catch one on thermal, it's going to be pretty conclusive. It's going to be conclusive.
Yeah.
You're also going to need that follow-up with a regular person standing at that much feet in the air. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, you could do that too. So, I mean, you could always do a comparison. It might be hard to do that in the exact same spot because you might be in a really super remote area with like crazy terrain, like places people don't go, no trails, no roads. But I mean, the great thing about that advanced thermal is that, dude, you can tell people were in clothes. You can see their clothing, So, yeah, I mean, you can see their clothing. So I don't know. I mean, is somebody? I don't know. Can I go find some huge dude, like whoever's like the biggest guy in the world right now, and put him out in the woods naked?
I mean, if the money's right.
Yeah. I hear you.
I hear you.
Talks,
I'm your guy. Yeah, I mean, I'm your guy. If the money's right. So.
Oh, and by the way, it's 35 degrees outside.
What? Oh,
yeah.
my God.
I mean, we're talking winter time.
Yeah, I mean.
So it's 35 degrees outside. They're naked.
That cold weather hits.
And you film them for 15 minutes. Is that a person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, probably not.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, probably not.
Oh yeah, I don't know anyone that would want to do that.
You know.
You know.
So Pat, we had a crazy idea a while back, and it kind of went under the rug. And Shane will remember this. We talked about doing this, but so the big conversation is, what is Bigfoot, right? Like, is it more human? Is it more primate? And so I lean towards that Neanderthal man. Okay, something derivative of that. And so for me, just history tells us that Neanderthals feared modern humans, right? Because we had the larger brain, we were smarter, and we basically killed them. So my thought process is if this is Neanderthal based, then its natural instinct is to hide from modern man. So we got to talking one day, and I said, how about we just make us some loincloths, and we get naked and we go through the woods. You remember this, Shane? We talked about this. And my thought was,
I like it.
Could we create an environment where this thing could think that we weren't a big threat because we don't have the shoes on, the clothes, the jacket, the shirt, the hats. We're stripped down to just us. Is that going to create a situation where this thing may cause an interaction or expose itself in a different way? And I don't mean expose itself in those terms, because we're in the nude, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I thought it was an interesting idea, but we never really went forth with it. I'm still game to do this, Shane. It's going to require us, getting to know each other on a whole other level.
Oh my God! Wow.
But I'm okay with it, but I don't know. What do you think? Am I crazy here? Am I thinking way outside the box?
Dude,
I think people would start tracking us.
I think that is a perfectly acceptable outside of the box idea. Difficult to actually do. Yeah. Like, I mean, you're talking, that's some dedication, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and
what are we talking here? Like 6 months span of just, because you have to become one with the woods, right?
Yeah, man.
Well, I mean, there's that area down there that we've talked about kayaking into that's not accessible by vehicle. So we kayak in, set up a base camp, close to the shore, hike through, I don't know, a couple miles or whatever, and get naked and take off walking.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I actually think that's a great idea.
Exactly. Naked and afraid bigfooters. Yeah, I love it, big dog. I mean,
I think the concept is solid, but based on your so you have a theory, and you have a proper way of testing it, and that's the scientific method right there. And see if you get a. But boy, I'm telling you, man. I mean, that'd be challenging. It would.
It'd be risky.
Can it at least be warm, Brian?
Oh yeah. No,
it would have to,
man. During the summer. Do it during the summer.
It'd have to be warm. Yeah,
it'd have to create any kind of shortage or shrinkage.
I'll tell you what, the bottoms of my feet are very rough. Like, I could walk across any coals and join any tribe at any time.
See, that's the problem. That's gonna be a problem for me because I got baby feet.
Piggyback ride, dude.
Yeah. Oof.
Dude,
you didn't think that through with the nudeness. So
that's a tough one.
You need a leaf, man.
That's new meaning to the phrase "nut to cut." You know what I mean? So, yeah. Michael's comment.
Oh my God! Would that be a horror comedy or probably all that, dude?
Yeah, all three. Yeah. I mean, the horror is seeing us in the nude. The comedy is seeing us in the nude. The drama is, probably us talking about being in the nude.
No, you guys would have to fashion something.
Yes,
you would have to fashion something where you're not in the nude. First of all, that you look like primitive, mildly
Yeah,
like you said, like loincloth.
Yeah,
So,
we talked about, most of us hunt, so just a deer skin and tanning it out and
like we're
creating
living off the fat of the land.
something,
like
but
something to drape over us, or around certain body parts, I guess.
yeah, and I mean, dude, you can wear underwear, like fashion it to where you could, still like wear your underwear and stuff.
Gotta
Can't
be
you just
fitted.
wear camouflage boxers, man? They won't be able to see anything anyways. It's camouflage.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
And also, I mean, it depends. Okay, so how long you want to run this experiment? Like
Exactly.
per day, you're gonna have to find a way to hide a couple of water bottles or something in them, because you can't just go out there for hours and hours and
No.
hours walking around pretending to be primitive and not drink water. And I mean, maybe you could just drink out of the creek, but I mean, that's not always safe.
No.
Mm-mm.
I mean, that would, for authenticity, that'd be pretty
It
cool.
would. So you could just do this. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. But the other thing safety would be an issue.
Yeah.
And so I thought about even a couple of our people that might ghillie suit up and kind of flank us a little bit to the side that may stay motionless, just as a backup plan. Just not so much that I think Bigfoot's going to run down and try to
Yeah.
may have his way with one of us, but just in case there's some, I'm going to say a weirdo out in the woods, and who's talking about being naked in the woods?
We're the weirdos in the woods.
Yeah,
Oh my god!
Kettle calling the pot black here, right? So,
Dude,
Oh my God.
I think it would be an interesting experiment. I only suggest I suggest to you this, that you try it first on a small scale.
Yeah, definitely.
Like
a quick fight, because we don't want to go to jail,
right.
over it or anything like that, because how do you explain that? You're especially you're in a small town, they're gonna have a picture,
Yeah, just
5 guys nude
It
in
might
the
be like
woods.
this.
Yeah.
well, like I said, man, just don't make yourselves nude. Like try and make yourself look as primitive possible without being nude, if that makes
Well, I
sense.
mean, you want to be in your natural form, as much as
I
possible.
want a Captain Caveman
Something
thing
like
going
that would
on.
be cool, yeah.
Yeah. Club.
Like a bobcat deal or something wrapped around.
Yeah.
All right, I've got one for you. This is another idea that I thought of that I will never do, because I'm stuck on the drone thing. But I always thought that if you took if you fashioned some kind of mirrored box, so a box that's what you, I guess, call like two-way mirror or whatever, so you can see out of it, but the entire outside's a mirror. You put it out in the woods with a bunch of camera equipment in it, with long-lasting batteries and remote. Find a way to make it, remote viewing access, where it can record on site, but it can also send a feed to be recorded, 2 miles away.
Gotcha.
Right? And you put as many cameras in there as many angles as you could think of. And I always thought maybe, and so no people involved. So not a dude is sitting in there, just sitting, right? No people involved. Just put it out there. And all it is a mirrored box. They can't see what's inside of it. Cameras looking at them. And that maybe the mirror thing would attract them. The whole thing might attract them. And of course, once they start looking at it, they see their own reflection, which they're probably not used to seeing, even though you can do that in nature with calm waters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that, so I'm like, well, that would be the perfect trick to get them to like here's a Bigfoot right in your face, literally. And all the SD cards are recording it, and whatever live feed that you can pull out of the certain technology you have in there is recording it. And then I always thought that would be a brilliant way to to capture one on film like very conclusively if they're like right up there on it. I mean, you'd be able to look at that thing and go, "Oh, that ain't a dude. His mouth's that wide." You know, like
I had a similar conversation. It might have been Dustin or Mr. Bill with mirrors, not the two-way mirror like you're talking with putting the camera inside the mirror, which I think is brilliant. But we had talked about one time just getting like full-length mirrors and mounting them in like opposing trees, like in a small area with some cameras up high, pointing down, just so something was walking by, a reflection of a reflection would just throw it up enough where it would get a little disoriented and want to come into like a mirror trap. But I like the idea of the mirror box because you got the camera, you got the advantage of it being inside there.
Yeah, it's a full
and to me, and this is just a big thing with me because I'm like in 50 plus years, dude, the data's clear. It's like people screw it up. Like that, when people are involved, there's always going to be this pushback, this back and forth. So with the mirror box, there's no people there. It's just like, boom, it's just sitting there. They don't know what's in it. Probably. Right.
Probably.
And that would be the other thing is that you deploy it as one unit ready to go. And like maybe you flip a switch somewhere. I don't know. I mean, I don't have all the technical stuff worked out. It's just concept.
I like it, man.
I do.
Maybe you could soundproof the inside for the alleged they can hear the mechanics of the camera, type stuff. I don't know.
Maybe, but if you soundproof it, then you'd be blocking your visual.
Well, not around the camera. Just
no. All the mirrors are that.
You're saying like enclose it in a way where it dampens the sound. I see what you're saying.
But either way, the whole point of that is just you plop it there and it does its thing. It's going to be static, but you've got it kind of you want to make it as 360 as possible for view. And the whole point is that the people monitoring it are 2 miles away, so there's no people by this damn box. And so that's the thing that will make them come out. Is because they know when we're around, dude.
Yep.
Like I say that conclusively. They know when we're around, Otherwise, we'd be getting the jump on them all the time.
Oh, I know.
And they'd be in the zoo, So the mirror box that's the other like kind of thing I thought of. Like, how do we take people out of the equation yet still get like something that's extremely compelling or really conclusive, And so the mirror box was one thing. And then as a goof, I always thought there's these cool costumes that are like professional costumes. But these cool Velociraptor costumes that people can wear, and they look like it looks like a freaking Velociraptor walking around. Like you could Google YouTube videos of people scaring people with these things. And I'm not talking about the goofy, like inflatable, bouncy Tyrannosaurus. I'm talking, this looks like Jurassic Park Velociraptor.
Whoa, badass.
It's 100% legit. It's as real as it looking as you can get it. I'm like, what if somebody went tramping around in the woods with that thing? What in the world would they do if they saw that? What would they think? Because obviously that doesn't exist anymore, yet we know it used to exist, and now we've built costumes that look just like them. Go trotting around a field, man, and see what happens. Like,
we'll have like a walkie. Let's flank them.
Yeah. And that's more of a goofy idea because no one's ever going to do that. But
we went from talking about us walking around naked to it, so if it's in that genre, sounds like something we might do.
I'm sure those costumes are quite expensive.
Oh my god, can you imagine?
Yeah,
well, I tell you what, Pat, we'll buy one. Just waiting on the TV money to roll in.
That TV money. That's right.
TV money that's coming in.
Yeah, because there's a lot of TV money in casting tracks.
Oh,
my god! There's a plethora of money coming in.
I have my a resignation letter already written, just waiting for that first check to come in the mailbox and drop that thing off. So
Well,
I run
hey,
the mailbox every day. Man. Every day, I'm like, gotta check the mail. Just waiting on that money. So,
well, don't. Hey, you know what? Don't let all that kind of talk even discourage you,
no,
dude.
dude.
it doesn't. We
I was really mad at first, but with the likes of people like you, Pat, and other folks that I've chatted with, it's just like I'm not gonna waste my time on this shit.
Yeah,
I agree. But I mean, what I meant by that is that if you have a vision for anything artistic, and I know you guys are artistic, especially Shane, from what I've seen, I'm sure Brian, you probably artistic too, but artistic or production, whatever idea that you guys like actually come up with, like go for it. Like,
oh hell yeah.
I mean, if you want to pitch a TV show, pitch a TV show, man. There's nothing wrong with that.
I shot a movie here recently, and I got told that it may go somewhere, and if it does, it does. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say no to it. Like,
hey,
yeah, I joke with Shane all the time. Like, if someone came to us right now and said, "Hey, we want you two guys to do a Bigfoot show," I'm in.
Why not?
I'm in 100%. Like, you're going to pay me to do something that I love to do.
right.
But what I won't do is I won't fake it for you.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing. Yeah, with a TV show now, they're probably going to want a lot of production, and so I would say even forget that. But if you want to do it. But I mean, dude, you have a YouTube channel. Like, put together a 45-minute documentary or something. Like learn how to edit the stuff yourself. Learn how to film and edit and direct and use your artist brain, dude.
Yeah.
And
I just started. It was this month. My brother and I started a production company.
Well, there you go. You have a production company.
We've got our first project, and it's working right now. It's not Bigfoot related, but it's a passion of mine that I've had since I was a kid, and it's showcasing pretty much my life's work. And it's kind of crazy how everything is just stepping right in order for this to happen. So
yeah. Well,
not to say that this right here, I mean, that's my bud, man. I mean, we've got some great guys in this group, and if there's something that forms a project down the road sooner than later, then I'll be ready.
Yeah,
dude, put together a half hour or part one Bigfoot documentary, like in whatever vision that you think, and just throw it out on YouTube, man. Like just like start getting your feet wet, and you can do whatever you want. I mean, man, we know guys that have documentaries on Amazon already.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, so it can be done, and I'm not saying, again, I'm not trying to go like, dude, nobody's getting Lambos out of that, right? I mean, so
right.
What? Wait a minute, no,
yeah.
Damn it, I quit.
You know what?
Maybe you will, Shane. Maybe you will get a Lambo out of it, bro. I'm not trying to.
Shane's getting a Lambo out of his deal.
Oh, God.
So, it's crazy, Pat, is a couple of years ago, I wrote an entire Bigfoot movie.
Oh, cool.
And, I mentioned it to the guys once before. I was like, hey, I got this movie idea. And I actually have it still. I still have it. Like, I wrote the entire movie. And, like, I cast all these guys in it. Like, Shane's this guy, and Dustin's this guy, and I'm this guy, and, like, I even started writing lines to it. Like, I wrote the movie. I wrote the whole premise of it, everything, the story, all that. And then I started writing dialogue for it. And then we got sidetracked by everything else exciting that started happening, and I just kind of backburned it. But I still have it in my notebook. Like, it's still an idea that I still want to finish. And it's not, anything like serious. It's just a goofy, it's just a movie. You know what I mean? It's not like a documentary or anything like that. I just think it'd be a good show, you know? And I was joking like, well, we can put it on YouTube, you know?
Yeah, put Big Dog in that show.
Big Dog definitely will be in it. I'll make some changes to some other characters that I don't associate with anymore, and we'll put Big Dog in it. So
sure, I'll be in it. I'll be in it.
Pat'll do it, man. Pat
we'll fly
can do
you
it.
out here first class in our jet because we got all that TV money.
Yeah,
TV money, baby. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, just go for it, man. Because I say all the time, man, it's like there's nothing wrong with making money in the Bigfoot world. I'm just speaking generally here. You know, I guess you could put yourself in a weird position if you're doing that, because you can be called out on some credibility issues. But as long as you're not busted being a hoaxer or even a high suspicion of hoaxing, there's nothing wrong with it, man. Like, people sell Bigfoot swag, merch. People. Some conferences, maybe not all of them, but some conferences are profitable. I mean, it's a supply and demand thing, man. People gobble up Bigfoot stuff. You know, I mean,
it's a huge part of pop culture. Period. I mean, Bigfoot is.
Yeah.
Even if you're not looking for the monster, people just love it. You know.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're gonna take the time to make something cool, like let's just say even a 45-minute documentary, which saying if you have an actual production company, then I'm sure you know what it's like to edit stuff, man. Like,
I edit stuff a lot. Yeah,
that's your time, and by the way, film it too. That's your time. So it takes a lot of time and energy, and money, because you gotta film it with good equipment or decent, right? And it's not cheap. It's not $40 to go out and buy a 4K camera.
No.
So there's absolutely nothing wrong with you taking that time and energy, putting it on any platform, whatever it is, YouTube, Amazon, or the movie theater, and getting what you deserve out of that.
Yeah.
That's not. There's nothing unscrupulous about that, man.
I think there's nothing wrong with it as long as you don't change your integrity to get there. You know what I mean? Like, you don't start, like you said, start fabricating things to create a little bit of hoopla about yourself. You know, I think you just create it, you put it out there, and this is what I've found, this is what I do, and people are going to watch it. You know what I mean? Like, people like us will watch it just because.
Absolutely.
If we know each other in a roundabout way, you know, like, if you put a documentary out today and said, hey, this is the stuff I've been researching for the last 2 years, I'm going to watch it because I'm going to be curious. I'm like, man, let's see what Pat's been doing. You know, I'm going to click in on it, you know? So.
And there's some really good Bigfoot documentaries out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
And I don't look at any of these people and go, oh man, you're full of crap.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's just good stuff, you know, whether it comes from, some people come, out from outside the Bigfoot world and tap into it, you know, but there's people inside the Bigfoot world, like the Small Town Monsters guy, and, people like that.
They do great work. Yeah.
And Shane Church, not Shane Church.
Shane Carpenter.
You're Shane Church.
I'm Shane Church.
I get my chains mixed up. Shane Carpenter. He put out his documentary. I was really impressed, you know.
Yeah. Was that Into the 400, right?
Into the 400, yeah. So yeah, man. I mean, I don't look negatively on people wanting to expand their kind of reach and content, right? It's content.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I plan on doing it too. If I could put together some cool aerial search for Bigfoot, man, I'd make a documentary out of it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, well, this year, so this project I'm working on, it's funded, is the reason why the production company started.
Right.
It's family owned, and Basically, I'm getting paid the rest of this year to bring something to studio or market, if depending on where it goes first. But I've already been working on this for a long time, so if it takes off, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I think it will because I've gotten a lot of positive feedback, and there's a lot of open doors. They're just waiting for us to bring something polished, and that takes off, man. Next year will be a whole new ball game, especially when it comes to like our evidence and stuff. I mean, I think it needs to be, I don't know, I think it needs to be seen, noted, whatever you want to call it. And all my buds that have always had my back, you know, this will be the turnaround where, you know, I show them how much I appreciate that. So.
Well, cool, man. I wish you the best of luck. I hope.
Thanks, man.
I hope that this venture goes forward in that way for sure.
Me too, man. It's just, if not, then you know, I tried it. It was my lifelong dream, and if you're not trying to achieve your lifelong dream, then I don't know what you're doing because you only get
I
one
hear you, bro.
life. Yeah,
I've been about that my whole life, you know, and I made some of those dreams come true. You know,
Good.
I've already knocked some stuff out, man. Like I'm like, okay, on to the next one, you know, on to the next one. And yeah. So
that's right.
I hear you, man.
There is no if not, Shane.
I know, man, but you know, I'm skeptical in every facet of my life. Okay.
No if not.
It will, man. It's so outstanding.
Just do it.
I am. Dude. I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now, sir.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well,
good stuff.
We're over the 2-hour mark.
Oh wow, Mr. Turner.
We can't keep up with Pat. Pat's show.
I know, man.
I've seen where Pat they do a
That's
show.
A pro, dude.
Jump off the platform and continue the talk on another show, and I'm like, man, a beast, man. Like,
that was fun.
Shane and I could talk. These dudes are going, man.
I know, yeah.
That was a fun night. Oh yeah, man. I mean, we can take a 5-minute break. I can go for another 2.
Dang, that's what I'm talking about.
I'll be out.
No, that's cool, man. We can wrap it up if you guys want to. It's been an interesting night, interesting discussion, man. We touched on a lot of things, man, and you guys are always welcome to. You see something like I got going on one night, man. Hit me up a messenger, dude. I'll bring you on.
All right. I secretly watched on some things. I need to get more involved and like make some comments and stuff, but sometimes I just like to sit back and watch you guys, you know, and listen. So, but sometimes I need to chime in probably a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, most of my shows are wide open. I'm usually scrambling in the last half hour to make sure I've got, you know, 4 or 5 people or even 3. Like sometimes it's like last minute, man. It's like, oh, is it just going to be me tonight? You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, you guys want to jump into the room, you hear something that, you know, that you know, provokes your brain into wanting to talk about it, man. You guys are welcome to come in or ahead of time. Like, hey man, you going live? Like, because I always put it out there. If you see, Dan, I'm like, hey man, I'm gonna go live tonight. Who wants in?
Yeah.
It's like it's almost first come first serve, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely intrigued on the debate shows. Like I'm looking.
Yeah, me too, Pat. That's wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna try my hardest, man. So far, no one has taken me up on it, man. But I'm gonna keep pushing and pushing. Now I'll try and find the people willing to do it. So
I'm in.
Hey, man,
so,
if you ever need you ever need one, you can always, and anytime you want to, bring up the Jefferson track situation.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Always a debate. So
yeah, we can debate. I can debate on that one. I'm ready.
All right. I'll keep that in mind.
Just keep it in mind. Way back there in the back seat or whatever.
Yeah, I'm game for it. So I
Cool.
like debates. So
Me too.
Yeah.
I like the civilized arguments. So.
Yeah. All right, man. Is there anything else you want to say, Pat? Anything?
Yeah, just some shameless promotion.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Yes, please. If you like what you heard tonight and you're not familiar with me, you can come to my Squatch Talk group on Facebook. We're friends with SBA, of course. And Brian and Shane are both there too as members of the group. And so that's my Facebook presence, Squatch Talk, and of course, my YouTube channel is also called Squatch Talk. So if you just search YouTube Squatch Talk channels, I should be the first one to pop up, hopefully. So yeah, I mean,
look for this right here. This right here will help.
Oh, it's a link. Thank you.
This guy right here.
Yeah, that's the artwork associated with it.
I love this artwork, man. By the way.
Awesome. Yeah, my buddy Ernie drew that.
He did a good job.
Yeah, he's a graphic. He's an illustrator.
He did good, man. It's I love it.
Yeah,
I love it that he even drew out the YouTube button.
Yes,
here.
right.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
No shortcuts for that dude. He's on it.
No, yeah. He's a great artist. So yeah, man. Like, anybody watching that's not familiar with me and likes the discussion and wants to hear more of these types of discussion, because more is better.
Mm-hmm.
Then come to Squatch Talk on Facebook and YouTube, and we're happy to have you.
Excellent.
Check them out.
All right. Okay, people. Well, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. We don't know who's coming on next, but they're not going to be as good as Pat.
No way.
Come on, Pat.
No way.
They're way better than me.
Way better. Come on.
You can talk to my Chihuahua. That'll be better than me.
Okay, Chihuahua. All right. Well, everybody have a good night. Good talking to you, bud. We love you, man.
Appreciate you. So.
Yeah, man.
All right.